Hi, this is Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are dealing with the challenges of change management. And I've said in the past that when change comes, many of us always say, no, you must adjust to change. Everybody must actually manage change quickly and make sure that they're on board quickly and so on. But there are challenges when change comes, and we must actually be aware of these changes so that when the challenges come, we are able to deal with them, these particular challenges, and we know how to manage change through and through in these challenges. Now, one of the challenges that I want to speak about today in change management is overstating benefits. Because sometimes when we are looking at the change, we always look at the change as bringing benefits. And sometimes we look at it and we overstate, we inflate actually the thinking about what will it benefit. In a company, sometimes when you are going to instill what we call change as a young man, you find that already you're picturing it to bring greater results. And sometimes the results that it is going to bring are not as much as you think. So overstating benefits becomes then problematic, and not only to the leader, but also to the people that are subordinates. Because when you have overstated the benefits, people are expecting greater benefits out of it. And you may find that the change that you bring may not benefit exactly what you thought it will benefit. Now, raising expectations becomes then a problem that you cannot meet them. And when you cannot meet expectations, you're basically bringing demotivation upon the people. Now, as a young man, I want you to be aware that when you are bringing change management, don't overstate benefits. Don't say things that you are not sure of. So do proper research and check on what the benefits could be so that you can actually be able to report to your team about what changes will be and be clear about the changes. If they're not much, make sure that you clarify it to them that they're not as much as they think. So please manage what we call expectations, because raising expectations of people may actually just cause conflicts later along the line. This is the reason sometimes that we see people actually going on strike more frequently in companies. It's because whatever change has been made, it has not been managed properly. We've overstated benefits of that change, and as a result, we've actually started seeing people expecting more, especially if you are, say, downsizing the company and maybe also reallocating, re-engineering a company and say, we'll then do it for more profit and so on. We are going to make sure that it is profitable. And the more you raise those hopes of people of profitability, and people are going to expect actually to earn more. People are going to expect to get an increase now that you have told them that it will actually bring profitability. Now, some re-engineering of companies is not necessarily because it's going to be great profitability. So therefore, it is very important as a young man who's a leader to manage it properly, that you are going to say, yes, we are re-engineering the company, but make the people aware that it may not be the benefits that they think will come may not be there. So let people know that it may not be there. And if it will, and we know how much benefits we'll get, so please don't overstate either. Clarify it and tell them these are the benefits, and these benefits are up to here, and that's it. So that people can understand that there are certain benefits, but don't overstate them. The other challenge that we have in change management, and we have seen this more frequently, is unconvinced people. You don't believe in the change yourself, and when you are not believing in the change yourself, you can't expect people to believe in it either. Now, I always say this, and I want to emphasize it today to you young leaders out there, that when you want to institute a change, you must make sure that you buy into the change yourself. You believe in the change. If the change is initiated by you, make sure that you convince yourself and be convinced to an extent that you know that this change will bring a difference. Now, if you're not convinced, why change? Don't change. And if the change is not brought by you, but is brought by, say, the directors of a company that you're working for, or maybe managers that are on top of you as well. So please make sure that you engage them so that you get convinced that this change will bring a difference. Because it cannot be that you're going to try to convince others that are reporting to you, the subordinates under you, about the change that you don't believe in yourself. Because if you're not convinced enough, you are not going to be able to convince others either. And I want to emphasize this one because it's very key. And as a young man, please develop into buying into, develop into being convinced, develop into convincing yourself or being convinced into the benefits or whatever success that a change will bring. Because otherwise, if a change is not going to bring a difference, why change? Because it's very necessary that we change because we're going to get benefits out of it. Now, I want to emphasize the fact that some changes are brought by innovation, and it may not be immediate benefits just now, but be convinced that you understand that this innovation is going to affect us in the future. So therefore, if you're convinced that way, please, even when you address your subordinates, it is very important that you make them aware that there are actually going to be benefits, and these benefits may not be now, but in future. But be convinced yourself, because if you're not convinced, it is going to be difficult to convince others as well. It is also important for us to mention the other challenge called breaking promises when it comes to what we call change management. Change brings broken promises sometimes. And just not doing what you promised to people is problematic. Because when changes are done, we have seen this happening in many places, whereby when you're making change because you want to convince the people quickly, you're actually making promises that you know you're not going to fulfill. Now, when you are a leader, I want to urge you and challenge you that always make sure that every single promise that you put before the people is a promise that you are convinced that you will fulfill. You better not make any promise if you're not going to fulfill the promise. It is very important that every promise you own up to it and you make sure that you drive everything towards fulfilling the promise. And I've seen this happening even in families. And I want to urge you as a young man, you might be a father who's having children, that you are promising them something because you want change to happen. You want to convince them about the change that you're making. So please, children, don't forget. Remember that. And people that are your employees at work as well, they'll not forget as well. If you promise them something that we are changing now, and we'll make sure that after a while or after this time, we will actually raise your salaries, will increase the income and so on. So don't make these promises if that is not going to be fulfilled. And I must emphasize that as a Young Men Empowerment Forum, as we empower you as a young man, we always emphasize it is very important that you become a man or a woman of his word or her word. Very, very important. That whatever you promise people, even though you convince them for a change, it must be that you are actually promising people that which you will deliver on. Broken promises can break people themselves. Broken promises can demotivate people. Broken promises can make people not to perform as well. And I want to urge you that every single promise that you put on the table for anybody at any given time, learn as a young man to bring promises to pass and to bring all those promises to be successful as well and to deliver on them. Because without delivering on your promises, you are breaking the trust and nobody will trust you anymore. Now, as a leader, you need to build trust with your people. And one of the ways of building trust, of course, is to make sure that every single promise that you make, you fulfill it, and you make sure that people know that this change, if it comes with a promise, it will definitely be fulfilled. Because our boss, our manager, when he says something, is yea and amen. And it is done, and I believe that people will trust you and believe in what you're saying. I'm ending up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are dealing with this topic tomorrow once more. But before we check out right here and invite you to join us tomorrow, So please remember, there is a Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, and our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum. So please like these pages, follow us on these pages, and make sure that you click notification buttons as well. Don't forget our YouTube channel as well, under Young Men Empowerment Forum, and under Micornus Phokane as well. So please, this YouTube channel, subscribe, click notification buttons as well. There's a TikTok account that we are posting to as well. Follow us on TikTok account. I am Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. So please follow us once more tomorrow as we deal with this topic, part 3. May the good Lord bless you, and allow me to check out right now and say cheers for now.